Hi everyone, thanks for waiting. Today we have Mersiha, and her topic is Introduction to Tableau. Mersiha, you can go ahead and start. If you have any questions or concerns, you can forward them to me. Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming me. First of all, I will share my screen and start with the presentation. Okay, so let me just display settings. Okay, first of all, hello to everyone. Thank you to the organizers for organizing Data Science Conference and all the participants who are participating during today's tutorial. The tutorial is on topic introduction to Tableau. So now we can start. Okay, during this session, we will go through the overview. We will see what our topic is about, what are the requirements behind a whole topic and solution. In section tools, we will display which tools are being used in order to implement the solution and how we will utilize Tableau in order to create end result. During demo part, we will do a live implementation of our solution. And in a fifth section, we will see what are the potential upgrades of a currently implemented solution. First of all, my name is Mersiha Karamustafic, and I'm working as data scientist at Mistral Technologies, IT company in Sarajevo. Besides that, I'm holding a master's degree in data science. So let's start with the overview. As we already may know, nowadays people are using data much more than before in order to have better insights into their business. Data is possibly used in order to possibly create some decisions. We could be also very big decisions and could possibly direct business in the future. Data is interpreted through visualizations, so it's easier for the end users to utilize data. By using data, we have, by creating visualizations upon our data, we have better insights what is in the background and what is happening in the background. Today, within companies, visualizations allow human resource teams to track, analyze, and report on human resource KPIs. This is helping, yes, this is helping pretty much for human resource department in order to have better insights into company numbers, into employee satisfaction, and so on. Also, interactive dashboards leverage an HR analytics platform, which makes it easy to combine data from all systems and to explore the data directly within the dashboard. We also can combine multiple data sources, and we will see further how it could be implemented. And by using this approach, HR or human resource teams can quickly find insights that will optimize workplace management and enhance employee performance. It could also allow some insights into recruitment processes, how it could be made better, or something like that. By using Tableau, we will display during today's tutorial following: how to create the dashboards, company overview, company numbers, and company timeline. Which graphics, which visualizations will be used, we will see further during the implementation, and a data set that is used to create dashboards is downloaded from Kaggle, and it could be found on this link below. So basically, we will import some data from server and further utilize it within Tableau tool. Okay. Sorry, I saw one message. Okay, which requirements will be followed in order to implement whole solution? So basically, first of all, we need to prepare data set. We need to import data from somewhere. Previously, data is cleaned and stored in database or some other data storage place, and prepared data is imported in Tableau Desktop. Tableau Desktop is basically the place where we will be creating all of the dashboards, all of the visualizations, and further it can be utilized. The second requirement is to create visualizations, because we are today here because of that. So visualizations are created in Tableau Desktop, and further those like separate visualizations are combined into common dashboards. The third requirement which will be satisfied is to publish workbook. Dashboards that are created in Tableau Desktop are published to a Tableau online portal. So basically, by publishing a workbook online, more users have access to those dashboards and basically to data that is displayed within those dashboards, and by that users have better insights to data. Well, basically, after publishing the dashboards, we should also allow the access for particular users in order to have access to those dashboards and to have some insights into data. The fourth requirement that is going to be satisfied is to schedule the refresh of published workbook. Well, basically, we want to have fully fresh data that, displayed on a dashboard. So basically, dashboards will be refreshed in desired period. Okay. Tools that are used in order to create whole solution, in order to create the flow of importing the data, having the data, utilizing the data, creating the visualizations from that, and further publishing those end results, those dashboards online. First of all, we will introduce Tableau, which is a visual analytics platform that is transforming the way we use data to solve problems. Within that tool, we will further create visualizations, and those visualizations make it easier for people to explore and manage data, and faster discover and share insights that can change business decisions. We can also say that it can create the world, because by having better insights into data, yes, by by reading the data from those visualizations, we are changing our decisions. The second tool that is going to be used during the implementation is Microsoft SQL Server, where basically data that is downloaded previously from Kaggle is imported into and stored into Microsoft SQL Server. That's a relational database management system developed by Microsoft. Okay, so now it's time to start creating the solution live, and now we will start with the demo, with a whole tutorial. Well, basically, as I already said, our data set that is previously downloaded from Kaggle is imported into Microsoft SQL Server. So basically, it's stored in employees information table within a SQL Server, and by selecting the columns from this table, we can see here which data is stored within this table. So this data is describing employees within the company, their employment status, their marital status, for example, their name, also position, the department information. So we have like a pretty good overview of the employees within this particular company. After we have pretty good insight about the data which will be further used, we are going now into Tableau. So basically, our first step, after we did some cleaning of the data, some preparation of the data, the next step is to import that data into Tableau desktop. We see here that there is a multiple like sources that could be choose in order to import the data into Tableau desktop. Well, basically, in this particular case, we will be using Microsoft SQL Server. However, we can also create connection to Amazon Redshift, to Oracle, or for example, even flat files. So basically, we can import JSON files, Microsoft Excel files, and use data that are stored within those documents. We are choosing now Microsoft SQL Server as our data source option. Data is stored within localhost server. Database is human resources. And after signing in, we have like we have the overview of data sources that are stored within this particular server. So basically, here we can choose like which database, from which database we will be importing our data. And since our data is stored within human resources, we choose that database. After that, we are choosing the table where our data is stored. In our case, it's employees information. Also, as data source besides tables, so we could also use views or store procedures, or data that is stored within those like sets into databases. We can also create here some relations between the databases to join tables to join those tables based on some keys, and further to utilize that combined data in order to create visualizations within Tableau desktop. What is pretty important to mention here, after we already imported our data that is stored within employees information table, it is important to mention the type of connection. We see here that we have a live or extract type of connection to our data source, to our main data source. If we want to avoid going to database every time we import some table, some column in order to visualize it through Tableau desktop, we don't want to choose this live. We want to create the extract so basically set of the data that is imported from server, store it somewhere locally, and further use it. So basically going live every time, it goes every time to database to pick up those data and further to utilize it within Tableau desktop. In our case, we are choosing extract, and after that, we will store that extract somewhere locally. Employees information, DSC. We will name it like that and save it in some folder locally. Okay, after the data set is stored, we are going now to create some visualizations within Tableau desktop. We can see here that in this data section, we have employees information, the name of our data source, that is name of our extract that is previously saved locally. However, previously imported from SQL Server. In this left part of the tool of Tableau, we see here the names of columns that are imported from SQL Server, and the bottom section is related to measures. Further, we will create some simple measures in order to display how we can utilize the data that is imported from server, from database, in order to display, for example, counts of employees, how many of women is employed within the company, or so on. Okay, so first of all, we are gonna rename employees overview. We are gonna rename overview our sheet, and after that we will import some data that is gonna describe a particular employee. For example, full name. We want to display a full name of each employee that is employed within the company, and we just drag that particular column into rows section in order to display it within the visualization. The second is, for example, date of hire, date of birth, also date of termination, if a particular employee has left the company, employee status, if it's active, inactive, voluntary terminated, and so on. Also, for example, position. We want to see on which position particular employee is employed at, and also department. We want to display the department that a particular employee is part of. Maybe if we want to also see citizen description of a particular employee, we will add that information within the visualization. Okay, we can also could also like make wider these columns in order to have like this in order to display everything within the visualization. And okay, the table is there. We displayed the data in a form of the table. However, we see in the last column we have some ABC values. We want to fully exclude these values to have like a pretty look of this visualization of this table. Basically, if we add some measures related to these employees, these values will be switched by those measure values. For example, the salary of employees, or for example, the sum of absences for a particular employee, or so on. However, we don't want to import at the moment any of the measures within this table, and we just want to exclude these ABC values from the view. In order to create that hack, we will create empty field, and we will put the null value within that. Okay. We just drag that that previously created calculated field into marks, and we see into marks section, and we see here that last column is already populated by something. If we change the type of the values within that particular column, we see here that we completely excluded those ABC values, and we just like make smaller this size of the last column. We cannot like get rid of this last column completely. However, in cases where measures are used, those last columns are fully like populated. Okay, so first view is already created. Employees overview is done, and now we want maybe to add some filters in order to filter our table. For that case, we want to filter this data by employment status. Okay, and we are just dragging this employee status column into a filter section in order to like say, okay, this column, this field will be used in order to filter particular like visualization, and further we will see that by these filters we could also like filter sheets, multiple sheets that are combined within the common dashboard. We choose here if we want to like import just particular value of the filter by just checking a particular value of this employment status field, or in this case, we will use all of the values that are stored within employee status, employment status, field. Okay, the filter, the employment status field is added as a filter into this sheet, and beside employment status, we want also to add some other fields, for example, department. In this case, we will also add all of the values stored within department field, and also position. We want to filter this whole view by the position, just to see on which positions we have employees employed at. Okay, great. All three fields are added as filters. So now we are ready to add that particular sheet and these filters into a dashboard. Okay, by clicking this like this icon here, the first one is to create sheets. The second one is to create dashboards. So basically, dashboards are used in order to combine multiple sheets into one place. And by creating dashboard, we will just rename it the same as we did company overview, the same as we did for the sheet. And we see here that in left section under sheets, under sheet section, we have displayed these like sheets that are already created. Employees overview is currently here, and we want to add it to dashboard. Okay, so basically the sheet that is previously created, employees overview is added into this company overview dashboard. I'm not sure if we have any questions till now. Okay, none. Besides that, we also want to display those 3 filters within this dashboard that we previously added into filters section. So basically those 3 fields. If we check this icon here, we can see multiple options in order to adjust the complete display of our data, of our visualization. So we can set this fit to the entire view. Okay, sorry, not that. Okay, further we will fit our sheet, our dashboard to display size that will fit to whichever, for example, device it is displayed at. And we set that into this size section. So it could be set to fixed size, automatic, to automatically make it wider or smaller, based on size of the display we are currently currently seeing the dashboard at. Okay, the filters we want to add here are, as we already said, employment status, department, and position. Filters and position. Okay, so all 3 of these filters are currently now added to dashboards and could be used in order to filter these employees overview data. However, we don't want our filters to take this much place, and we want to display it in a different form. Okay, so by clicking on this icon here, we can adjust our employment status filter view to be displayed as, for example, single value, or multiple values. It's currently now checked and displayed or for example, multiple values drop down. In our case, we want to display it as a drop down and to hide all of possible options. If we want to see those, we are clicking this drop down in order to display all of the possible options. The same way we'll do for department and also for the position. Multiple values drop down. Okay, so it's having much prettier look. Okay, we'll drag it in above section. Okay, also the department, and let's make smaller this employment status, and also position will be dragged here. Okay, it's pretty much and that's okay. So great. Besides this, I want also to display how we can add some KPIs in order to have better insights into company data. So basically, we want to see how many of employees is currently employed within the company, or it was previously, or they were previously employed within the company Also, we want to see how many women is employed within the company. And the third KPI that we will display how to create is employee satisfaction ratio. We want to display the value of employment satisfaction for these employees. Okay, so basically, as I already said, by clicking on new worksheet, we are going to create a new sheet where we will be storing our KPI number of employees. We will rename it as a number of employees, and after that, we want to display the number of employees as a value. We will do that by creating calculated fields, number of employees, and we will do that by counting employee ID. So simply we just like enter the name of a function. In our case, it's count function, and we are entering the name of the field that we want to count the values by. In our case, that's employee ID value. Okay, so great. And as we already said, all of the values imported from database are like stored within this dimensions section. So basically, all of these fields are imported into Tableau desktop from a SQL server. However, whichever like calculated fields we create here, and it has like numeric value, it could be measured. It will be added in this measure section. Okay, number of employees is calculated, and we just want to drag that value and display it into this sheet. We do that by just dragging this number of employees value within the marks section, and we see here that we displayed we store it in a marks section, and previously we will store we have stored our like fields, our name columns into rows section. If we put it in a rows section, it will create some kind of visualization, some kind of graphic. However, we don't want to display it in a form of graphic. We want to display just a single value number of employees, and that's why we store it in a marks section. We change the type of this number of employees value in order to display the count of employees that is employed within the company. Okay, the two other KPIs, and this KPI is created. Further, we will create two more women like employed within the company, and also employment satisfaction ratio. So we are creating here, and now we will need women employed, and okay. So basically, here we want to calculate women employee ratio, and for that case, we also need to create a calculated field. So basically, women count. Okay. Count, great. And in order to create this calculated field, we will be using LODs, level of details expression. So basically, we will be counting employee IDs. However, we have to check sex of particular employee in order to count it properly. Okay, and this is how we create this fix employee ID. Okay, by employee ID, we will be counting how many women is employed within the company. Great, and we are adding the name of the function, and we are creating the expression. Okay, if sex is equal to F, then count employee ID. Instead, do nothing. Okay, great. So employee ID, and we just add this count within the sheet. Okay, so basically, just to go back to these LODs, basically here into a fixed section, into this dimension section, we add all of the fields that will be affecting the end result. For example, here employee ID, so a count of employee ID will be count of employee ID will be end result. So that's why we had to choose employee ID as dimension that will be stored within fixed section. Okay, great. We are adding this women count into our measures section, and after that we want to display it in the sheet. Okay, we see here, and in a form of text, in a format of text, we are displaying the proper value. We see here that 176 women is employed or was employed within the company. Okay, and the last KPI that we will be displaying within company overview dashboard is employment satisfaction ratio, and that one will be a bit like more complex. Employment satisfaction ratio. Okay, we rename the sheet just like that, and we want to create a calculated field that will display employment satisfaction ratio value for this particular company. Okay, we name it employment satisfaction ratio, and we see here on the left side we have some value employee satisfaction. So basically, within that field, we have already stored the value of employee satisfaction for each employee. And we want to, how employment satisfaction ratio will be calculated. Basically, we will sum employee satisfaction values and divide it with a number of employees. Okay, so sum employee satisfaction and divided by number of employees. We see here that we are already using a number of employees measure calculated field that we previously created. So within particular like calculated field, we could also use previously created calculated fields. Okay, so we see here that these calculation contains some errors. Okay, some is being called with string. Did you mean a float? We see here that type of employee satisfaction is string, and we want to convert the type of employee satisfaction field into float, so we can sum it in order to calculate employment satisfaction ratio value. Okay, now the calculation is valid, and by clicking OK, employment satisfaction ratio is added into this measure section. Okay, the same approach will be followed in order to create this KPI. We are just dragging an employment satisfaction ratio from measure values section into marks section, and we change the type of how employment satisfaction ratio is displayed. We want to display it as text, and we see here that the value is already added. However, we don't want to, for example, display all three of decimals. We want to display just 2 decimals. By clicking to format, we are able to change the format of how particular value is displayed. We see here that we can change the font of values that are displayed, also alignment, numbers, and so on. We want to set a format to a number, and in order to customize it, we will check this number custom option. We see here that we can change the number of decimals that is displayed, 0, 1, or 2. In our case, we will be choosing 2 as an option because we want to display 2 decimals. Also here, we can, in case we have negative values stored within our particular field, we can choose how we want to display particular negative value. Would be within those brackets, or the minus is in front of the number, of minus is behind the number. That's up to you. Okay, also display units. We could also, like pretty big numbers, we could display those values in thousands, millions, billions, like formats. Our employment ratio, satisfaction ratio, is not a pretty big number, so we don't want to set any display units, or it doesn't have any negative values stored within that. So we don't want to make some other options for these negative values section. Okay, so basically everything is set now, and we are ready to add these KPIs, these sheets that will be displayed as KPIs within our dashboard, within a company overview dashboard. Okay, so we will add to dashboard number of employees, women employed, add to dashboard, and also employment satisfaction. Let me see here. Okay, so all three KPIs are added into dashboard. However, we don't want to look this bad, that our dashboard looks this bad, and we want to make it prettier. Okay, we want our title of the KPI and also the value of the KPI to fit the entire view. For example, if the size of view is changed, so also KPI is adjusted automatically by that size. Okay, and by clicking this fit entire view, we have the possibility that KPI is changed by changing the value of the KPI view is adjusted by changing the size of the KPI. Okay, and also we want the same for the two other entire view and entire view. Okay, great. And we want those KPIs to store on right size. This could sometimes be just adjust it. Okay, great. And let's make these filters a bit higher. Okay, great. We added all three of KPIs. So we added our employees overview table. We added all three of filters, and now we want just to adjust a bit format of these KPIs to change some background colors, also to add some borders, and also to change the value of these values: number of employees, women employed, and employment satisfaction ratio. We will do that by edit title. We want to centralize, to put in center the title of the KPI. Great. We are doing the same for the other two. Edit title, put it in center. Okay, great. The next step is to make some shading, to add some background color for this title, and by clicking format title, we have these options displayed in order to adjust the shading or border of the title. Okay, and we will add some border for our title. We will do the same for women employed, and shading the same we are adding, and the border, and also format title for the third one. Okay, border, great. Okay, so we adjusted the display of title of the KPIs, and now we just want to adjust a bit this display of the values. We are doing the same. We display the format section of a particular KPI, and we want to adjust the view just for the values. Basically, we want to make it to put the value in center, and to make the size of this value a bit bigger. Okay, and we check these fields like drop down, and we want to adjust the alignment of the values, sorry, and also the size of a particular KPI value. We want to set it on 26 size, font size, and it's we see that value size is changed. We will do the same for two other. We display the format, and also we want to adjust the look just for the KPI value. We make it center and middle center, and font is also set to 26. And the last one is employment satisfaction ratio. We are doing the same for this calculated employment satisfaction ratio field. Alignment is centered, and font size is 26. Great. Okay, and if we want to adjust also shading or borders for these KPIs, we can do the same. We can we can change the the display of the background color of this KPI, and also add some borders. We are doing that by, for example, adding like borders for paint, and we could add also some shading by clicking this icon here, and to change like background color for the paint. In our case, we'll leave it as blank, as none shading, and also we will just add the border for two others. Okay, great, and oops, and to great, paint, great. Okay, we added borders for all of 3 KPIs, and okay, and make this bit bigger. Great. Okay, so if we can see, we added all of the filters that we want to add. We added employees overview table in order to display the data for the employees, and also we added these 3 KPIs, number of employees, so women employed, and employment satisfaction ratio. Since this dashboard is completed, we want to test how these filters are working. Okay, we want to display just active employees that have active employment status, that are currently employed within the company. However, we see that for all 3, for example, BI developer, CIO, for all 3 of these filters, just employees overview table is filtered by. However, we want by clicking these filters, we want also the KPIs to be filtered. And we will do that by following option. We want to apply these filters for all of the sheets that are using the same data source. And for that, we are choosing apply to worksheets, and all using this data source. So basically all of the, and we saw that numbers on the KPIs changed. Basically, now they are pretty like lower. Number of employees is 50, and in first case it was around 300. And also we want to do the same for the other two filters. If you want to, and you use this option just in case you want to filter all of the values that are displayed within common dashboard. So basically, if you don't want to change the values that are displayed within the KPIs, leave it as it was. So basically, apply to worksheets, only this worksheet, and it will be displayed just on. It will be like attached filters will be filtering just the sheet for which the filters are added. For example, we added these filters for this visualization for this table, and that's why it was set visualization displayed within this particular dashboard. Okay, so for example, here we can see that there is 207 actively employed employees within the company. 116 is women employed, and employment satisfaction ratio for these 207 employees is 3.89. Okay, great. We change it on firstly like checked values, and now we want to display how we could use some other visualizations options in order to display the data that is stored within our data source. For that case, we will create like a separate dashboard. As I already said during the presentation, we will be displaying 3 dashboards: company overview, company numbers, and company timeline. So basically, for company overview, we just wanted to see basic like information, how many of employees is employed in the company, how many of women is employed in a company, and also employment satisfaction ratio. However, now we want to display how many of employees is employed per particular position, or for example, per particular department, or in case we want to see, for example, how many of employees is employed per state, because we already have stored the state and also location information for particular employee within the database. So now we are going to the next visualization, and we are creating number of employees per position. Number of employees per position. Okay, great. For that case, we want to display the names of the positions and number of employees particular position. In that case, we want to to drag a position field into rows section, and we see now that the names of the positions are displayed within this particular sheet. Let me just number of employees is the number we want to see per particular position, and by dragging this previously created number of employees calculated fields on column section, because we want per particular position to display number of employees. And we see here that is divided pretty good, for example, and displayed pretty good in a form of these horizontal bars. For example, for accountant 1, we see that a number of employees is 3, so 3 employees are employed on this position. Data analyst, for example, 8 employees is employed as data analyst, or IT support, the same. 8 employees is employed on IT support position. Okay, so basically by just dragging the values and previously the fields that were previously stored within database, and by dragging previously created calculated fields, in our case, it's a number of employees, we have a pretty good overview of number of employees. We displayed number of employees per position. If we want to adjust, for example, the display of this graphic, we could also edit axis. So we could change the title of axis. In our case, we will leave it blank. We will completely delete the title of this axis, and if we want to change the range of how the values are displayed or the scale, you just adjust these options. For our case, we will keep it simple. We will just exclude the title of this axis. The next graphic, the next option that we are gonna use is to display number of employees per department. So basically, when HR are, for example, digging into company numbers, okay, it could be important to check how many employees is employed within a particular department, how many employees is employed within a particular particular position. How we do the sorting based on values. Okay, let me. You mean on this previous graphic or table? Okay, I can share the alphabetic, for example, here, or data source order, and for example, for position, we are okay, graphic, great. Okay, so we can change here, we can sort it by the names of positions, for example, to be in descending order or ascending, or here we can sort to be sorted by number of employees per position, and we are clicking just this icon here, sorted descending by number of employees within position, sorted ascending based on a number of employees per position, and if we want to leave it as it was, to have sorted values, to have sorted numbers of employees per position by position name ascending, we are leaving it as it was. Please let me know if I answered your question or some other explanation needs to be added. Okay, great. We are continuing our work. Okay. as I already said, now we want to display the number of employees per department. We are following the same structure we were following for number of employees per position sheet creation. Basically, we are just dragging the department field into rows section, and we see here displayed the names of all of the departments. And the second is to add number of employees to have displayed these number of employees per particular department. We see here that, for example, within admin offices department, 9 employees is employed. For example, ITIS, 50 employees is employed. And within, for example, sales, 31 employees is deployed. Okay, great. And for example, here we could implement the option that I was like displaying previously to sort this visualization by number of employees per department in descending order. And we are just excluding the title of axis because we already know that number of employees will be displayed per particular department. Okay, great. So we just want to rename number of employees per department. Great. And the last one that I want to add as the visualization within this company numbers dashboard is a number of employees per states. Because I want to display also how we can use maps visualization in order to display the numbers within a particular location. And okay, and we see here that as we imported our data within Tableau desktop, it is automatically recognized for state and zip that these fields have location like values, location characteristics. And we see here that type of those two fields is already set to be filtered, for example, further as location. And we create the third sheet related to this second dashboard, and we rename it as number of employees, number of employees per state. Great. And we want to, as I already said, we want to display a number of employees per state. So we will be using number of employees previously created, calculated field, and state field. We will drag this state field within our marks section, and we already see that whole visualization is adjusted to be displayed as a map. And we changed the label because we want to display also the name of a particular state. And we see here that all of the states that have some data within there are named. For example, Texas or Arizona or so on. And the second step is to add number of employees value within that. Okay, we are dragging also a number of employees here. And okay, so basically here what I did is we can display it in a form of a label. So basically below the name of the state, we have displayed this number of employees value, or we can adjust it to, for example, see how many of employees is employed based on the color. And for this case, I want to display by color because it looks much prettier from my perspective than that option. Let's display the name of the state and also the value of number of employees employed per state. Okay, and we see here that these values are like colored by some continuous values. However, we don't want to display it like continuous then by discrete values, and that's why we want to change the field from continuous to discrete in order to, for example, have a different color for a particular number of employees value per state. For example, here we see that just this number of employees, 276, is the highest one, has some other color than the other. However, we see here that in New York, number of employees is 1, and also in this state VT, a number of employees is 2. However, by the color, we cannot see that number of employees is different for these 2 states, and that's why we want to show these number of employees values as discrete values. So basically, every number of employees that is different for a particular state will be colored differently. So it's much easier to see which states have the same number of employees and which have like higher number of employees employed at. For example, here we see that in Ohio, number of employees is 1, and all blue, Florida, all blue colored states have 1 employee employed employed within that state. However, the red one is displaying that 3 employees are employed in that state. For example, 2 employees is employed in this VT state, and the state is colored orange. So basically, this is much more readable, much easier for the end user to like make the separation. Okay, within this state we have 1 employee employed. Within this state we have 2, 3, 4, or so on. And yes, so basically, all of the 3 visualizations that we want to put within these company numbers dashboards are now created, and we are ready to create the second dashboard and to add, sorry, not sheet, dashboard, and to add those visualizations within that particular dashboard. Okay, number of employees per position, number of employees per department and number of employees per state. Great, and we want, okay. Because this one is the highest, so we will put it in a left section. Great. Number of employees per department and number of employees per state. And we want to adjust this alignment center. Okay. And edit title. Let's completely remove this title. Format legends. Okay, everything is good there. Maybe to add some shading and to add some border also for this legend. Okay. Great. We will make it smaller so all of 5 values are displayed in the same view. Okay, so basically we see here that we could easily read how many of employees is employed per position. And whenever we create these visualizations, we want to think how end user is gonna use these visualizations in order to have some better insights into data. And if it's easy to read, if it's not easy to read, or get some pretty good overview of the data. Because if it's pretty hard for us to understand what is visualized, we could think that also it could be hard for the end users in order to read some information from those visualizations. Okay, and the last one, the last dashboard that I want to display to you how to create and how to use, for example, dates in order to display some data, in order to display some company information. For that case, we will create the third dashboard that will be named as a company timeline. Let's just first rename this company numbers, and we will put it somewhere in front. Okay. So it's sorted dashboards first, sheets after. Okay, great. And the next step is to create company timeline. Okay, we want to see, for example, how many employees is hired per year, or how many employees terminated their work within the company per year. And for that, we want to use a number of employees value that is previously created, this calculated field, and also we want to use date of termination value and date of hire. However, if we see the type of these two fields, date of termination and date of hire, is also text, is also string, and we don't want. And if we just further use those values as string, we don't have any like. We don't have any any possibility to create a timeline for number of employees to see how many of employees is hired per particular period. And for that case, we want to change the type of date of hire field. So basically, we don't want for our dates to be string type, but we want to switch the type to date. And for that, date of hire, and we will name it. For that case, we will create date of hire date calculated field, and we want to change the type of date of hire field into date. Okay. We want to remove this date of hire string type value, and we want to display this date of hire date type value within our visualization. And we already see that this field is behaving differently than the previous one. The previous one just export all of the values that are stored within this particular field within the database. All of the values as plain text. However, for date of hire displayed in a date type, we could also see years stored within a particular or quarters or even months and days. And this is this is the main difference between using it as a string and using it as a date type. Okay, and now we want to display here date of hire. We want to display number of employees employed per years. Okay, and we want to put on x-axis the years values, and number of employees will be displayed as a line on this graphic. And as we can see here, we can easily read how many employees is employed in 2008, how many employees is employed in 2012, and we see that in 2011, the highest number of employees is hired, and it's 83. If we want to also filter this particular visualization by date, we add here date of hire, date of hire to filters section, and now we are ready to filter this particular visualization per date of hire values. We want to filter it by selecting range of dates in which we want to see how many employees is employed, and for that option we check this range of dates option. Beside that, we could also import just years for these visualizations to be filtered by our quarters or months or individual dates, and we will be just selecting particular checkbox for which we want to see a number of employees value. Okay, range of dates. We see here that this value displays the lowest date of hire value, and this value here is displaying the highest date of hire value stored within the database. By clicking OK and by showing this filter, we displayed the filter within this sheet. And if we want to filter this, okay, we will see how many of employees is hired within this particular period from February 2010 to July 2018. we also can slide this like end date, the same as the start date. Great, and the second one is to be added, and it's termination timeline. This will be renamed as hiring timeline. And the second sheet that we will be adding is termination timeline. We want to see how many of the employees terminated their work within the company. And by, for example, reading that data, we can see, okay, in this, and we could think as end users, okay, during this year, the highest number left the company. Why is that? Why that happened? Or, for example, within this year, within this time period, we employed the highest number of the employees. Okay, that's good. Let's follow that strategy. Termination. Termination timeline. Great. We are following the same structure like we create calculated fields that will date of termination, that will change the type of date of termination fields that we want further to use. That's date, date and date of termination. And based on your use case, you could create more complex calculated fields, or this pretty simple. That's up to you. Date of termination. We also want to display these years within x-axis displayed, and we also want to see number of employees as the line, how it's behaving during the time period. Okay, we see here that number of employees is displayed per time period from 2010 till 2018. But we also see here that there are some null values that we want to exclude. We don't want to display, so end users could see those null values displayed within the dashboard. And if we think from where those null values are coming, well, basically, those employees that are actively employed, that are currently employed within the company, they don't have termination date because they are still employed within the company. And let's now just exclude these null values displayed within the graphic. We also need to add this date of termination field within filter section in order to filter this particular graphic and to exclude those null values. So basically, this is the lowest date, the first date for date of termination value stored within the database, and this is the highest date stored within database for this date of termination. We don't want to include null values. We want to completely exclude those from the dashboard. And by clicking OK, OK. So basically, we have here displayed just number of values from 2010 to 2018. So we see here the information just for those employees that terminated their work within the company. We see here that in 2010, number of employees that left company is 1. For example, here in 2017, 8 employees left the company, and we see here that in 2015, the highest number of employees left the company, it's 23. So by just scanning this visualization, we have some pretty good insights into company data. And if you take a look at this tooltip that is displaying whenever we put the pointer on this line, we see here which values are displayed: year of date of termination, 2016, and a number of employees. However, if we want to adjust the display of this tooltip, we just want to change it here in a tooltip section. So basically, for example, we don't want to include this date word in there. We just want to see year of date of termination and number of employees and its values. And that's it. Okay. And we see here that year of date of termination, we completely excluded date word from end tooltip. And let's add this filter also within the sheet. And okay, just small like reminder what we could do with dates. We could like expand this date of termination. For now, it's displayed by years. However, we can see here that we can display a whole graphic by quarters if we just expand this date of termination field. Also, for by months, we see here how many of employees is employed in August 2012. It's 2, or for example, we could go till the lowest, like lowest level, it's day for this date of termination value. Okay. Great. The last step is to add these two graphics within the common dashboard. Let's create the dashboard, rename it, and company timeline. Great. And we see here displayed all of the sheets that we recently created. And for this dashboard, we want to display hiring timeline and also termination timeline. Let's move this termination timeline below this. Great. Okay. So basically, by sliding this slider for date of hire, we change the period for hiring timeline. And also, if we change the end date, we also make it make the period smaller. We don't want to filter also termination timeline by this filter. We just want to apply it to hiring timeline, and date of termination filter will be filtering the second graphic, termination timeline. And great. If we want to adjust some, for example, edit title, we can just adjust it as we want. The same could be also added for this date of hire, edit title, and let's remove it. Okay, great. And all three dashboards are ready to be utilized. so ready to be published. Just one more tip and trick for these sheets that are displayed within a whole workbook. We can hide those sheets we don't want to display every time we open the workbook. We just click on this number of employees and hide. We just click on particular sheet, right click, and just choose the option hide. And after that, just the dashboards will be displayed. Okay, great, because it's much cleaner. And the next step is to, after we completed the implementation of all three dashboards, we want to publish our dashboards to Tableau online portal, and users will then have online access to those dashboards. We are publishing complete workbook, all three dashboards, by clicking on a server, and after that on publish a workbook. Before that, however, currently now I have already published data source. However, before publishing the workbook, maybe we want to have a published data source, and after that we utilize that previously published data source from Tableau online portal in order to create our workbook, or in order to continue to work on our workbook. Publish workbook in order to publish the recent work, and here we see the name of project. We can also create some other folders in Tableau online portal in order to store our dashboards there. And all of those projects, all of those folders will be displayed in this drop-down menu in Tableau desktop. Also, we changed the name for our workbook. Besides that, we also can adjust here which sheets, which dashboards or sheets will be published to Tableau online portal by just, for example, checking these checkbox for particular dashboard. Okay, and more options. What could be also interesting here is if we want to show sheets as steps and just move from one dashboard to another much easily. We check this show sheets as steps checkbox, and we have in upper in a top toolbar of our Tableau online portal, we have displayed all of the dashboards that are published to Tableau online portal. And after clicking publish workbook to Tableau cloud, workbook will be published online to Tableau online portal. I have already, sorry, let me just, okay, human resources. I have already published this workbook, these three dashboards into Tableau online portal. And we see here that everything what we want to publish is published. So company overview, company numbers, and company timeline. And if we want just to utilize the data within these dashboards, we can also filter these as end user to display, for example, just active employees. those employees that are currently employed within the company. And we see here that all KPIs are filtered, as we already saw during the implementation, also by, for example, position. We want to display employees that are actively employed on these positions that are previously checked. And we see here that 10 employees is employed on these positions, 5 women is employed, and employee satisfaction for those employees is 3.7. And the last step after we imported our data, we created some visualizations. We utilized our data in order to create those visualizations. We published that workbook, those dashboards into an online portal. We want to schedule the refresh for those data. So basically, we want to have fully fresh data displayed on our dashboards. And if we go back into, okay, so basically, let's go just a bit. This is the folder, the main project that we saw in that published workbook section. So basically, we see here full workbook. 3 sheets are contained within it. The data source that this workbook is connected to. And we see here the previously published data source in a form of extract. So basically that means that if data source is published as extract, we want to first, because it's like a cached data set. It's like a set of data stored in a particular point of time. And we want to refresh that extract of data and further to refresh whole dashboard in order to have fully fresh data displayed within the dashboard. By clicking on extract refreshes tab and adding new extract refresh, we can set here the schedule of the refreshes, the refresh frequency for our data source. If we want to repeat it hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly, or every day, every some hours, and at what time. We want to repeat daily, every day. Okay, let's put it weekly. For example, on Thursdays at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Okay. And after creating, so basically this the frequency of the refresh for this extract for this data source is it's gonna be refreshed every Thursday at 10 a.m. After creating this refresh, we extract refresh information is added by. So basically, we see here it's full refresh. It means every field that is contained within that data source will be refreshed, and we see at what time it will be refreshed. Great. After we set the refresh for our extract, for our data source, we also want to pull those new data, those fresh data from the extract. So basically, we want to add extract refresh for our dashboard. So it's fully refreshed, and we will set it to be at same day. weekly on Thursdays at same day, however different time. We want to wait till data source extract is refreshed, and after that we can pull fully fresh data. So basically we set our extract to be refreshed at 10 a.m. Now we want our dashboard to be refreshed at 10:30. Create, okay. So basically now the refresh set, the schedule refresh for our dashboard is set to be every Thursday at 10:30. Okay, and basically that's it regarding the implementation, the flow of the implementation of particular Tableau solution. As I already said and displayed, firstly, we find the data, import that data into Tableau desktop. Further, we create some visualizations or adjust some previously created visualizations and publish our most recent work Tableau online portal. So everything is set there, so end users can utilize those visualizations. And let me just maybe show you. Okay, so last step is we can also create some adjustment here in Tableau online portal. So basically we clicked that edit button. We add, however, we don't have time to display also these options. However, all of the most recent adjustments could be added into Tableau online portal, and by clicking publish, the most recent changes will be saved in Tableau online portal. So also it's edit view is also accessible through Tableau online portal. So basically that's it regarding the demo. And let me just go through potential upgrade of solution. So after I displayed the flow of the solution that is implemented within Tableau desktop and further published to Tableau online portal. So basically created through Tableau tool. Here I also displayed some possible upgrades of solutions. So basically, for these particular solutions, we could add some other visualizations that will display, for example, number of absences or some other pretty important information for a particular department. In our case, it's human resource department. Or for example, to combine multiple data sources. In our case, I displayed just the utilization of SQL Server as the option for a data source. However, we could combine multiple data sources. We could add, for example, Excel files or JSON files, or even to connect to some online accessible, for example, Amazon Redshift or some other options regarding data sources. The third potential upgrade of a solution is to add users that will create visualization on their own. So basically, as I already displayed, some adjustments could be added through Tableau online portal. and saved that there. So basically, all of the users, all the end users who have the access with, for example, limited access to that particular dashboards, to that particular dashboard, they could also add some adjustments there. So they don't have to ping us, creators of that dashboard, every time when they need some simple visualization or something like that. And for potential upgrade of solution is to send potential risk notification on email. This could be pretty useful if we have some values that are pretty important vary during the time. For example, employment satisfaction ratio. If it goes below 50%, that could be a potential risk for the company. Employees are not satisfied, so it is necessary to send the notification about that potential risk on email to certain department, in our case, human resources department. So basically, that's everything from my side. Big thank you for all the participants. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much, Mersiha. It was a great presentation. If anyone needs the materials, you'll get them later on the email. Thank you once again.